One of the things that I really like to do, I've mentioned in either a podcast that has released or will release soon, is that I like to engage in the ask to before asking me. And one of the reasons why is because I didn't want kids to be sitting there waiting while I was working with somebody. Sometimes it was for several minutes that I'd be working with a kid, or almost for an entire class if we're unpacking something that's very difficult. And I didn't want kids to sit there just kind of waiting for an answer and not knowing what to do and getting stuck. So I always encourage them to ask two of their peers before they asked me any kind of question. And if I was working with somebody at the time, then they had to kind of keep repeating the process of asking two before they could get to me. And one of the ways that I love to respond is if somebody asked a question that I knew somebody else knew how to answer, is I'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, so you want to learn how to do some player controls. Well, Susie over here is an expert on player controls. So how about you go ask her how to do that? So that's something I highly recommend if you're having some difficulty getting to everybody. And if you listen to the interview with Bob Irving, he actually talks about like a I need help list where people kind of put up on the board what they need help with. And then you could also put up on the board people who are willing to help with specific areas or kind of like list off their expertise. So that can kind of help with offloading it so that way kids aren't relying on you to 100% answer all of their questions, but they can actually learn from each other, which is just in general a great process. And one more quick tip on that note is you can actually get kids to kind of break out of their habit of asking their friends for help by saying, do you know anyone else in the class who is or has worked on something similar and might be able to help you? So that kind of encourages them to think through, oh, who might be an expert on this thing that might be able to help out with whatever question they have.